Hey there guys, Troy Gretsch from IntoDrums.com here, and I've just got a quick lesson slash tip thing to give you guys about selecting sticks and how to go about it when you're in the shop and what's right for you and all that kind of stuff. Now, I remember being a young student and having no idea what I needed to buy, and I thought to myself, man, I went to this shop and there's just a massive wall of sticks, and what do I get? There's Zildjian, there's Promark, there's Vicfirth, they've got all the big brands, and I just was floored at like, how do I know I'm getting the right sticks? Now, when it comes down to it, there really is no right and wrong pair of sticks. It's really about what you're comfortable with. But there are certain things that you can watch so you know that you are getting the best quality pair of sticks that you can get. So the first thing to remember is that if you're a beginner drummer, your sticks are going to last you quite a long time. As an early drummer, my sticks tended to last me a lot longer than they do now. Back then, I could go through a pair of sticks maybe once a year. Now I tend to go through a pair of sticks every 2 weeks. And that simply just comes down to how much you're playing, how hard you're hitting, what kind of gigs you're doing, and all that kind of stuff. So it really is different for everybody, but for me, I usually go through a pair of sticks every 2 weeks. Now, you do really get what you pay for. So if you start looking at the cheaper sticks, you're going to find more imperfections, and when you go into the more expensive sticks, a lot of the guesswork is taken out for you. But in saying that, I'm just going to treat it as if you were buying the cheapest pair of sticks you can. So I am very fortunate to be sponsored by Promark, and I love their sticks. And the ones that I'm using, just for curiosity for you guys out there, I'm using the American Hickory Pro Round TXPR5AW. So the number will tell you how the thickness of the stick. So usually the higher the number, the thinner the stick. So if you were using a 2, anything with a 2 in front of it would be a big chunky stick, and a 7 would be a fairly thin stick. And these are a 5. So that's kind of like a 5A is a medium kind of stick. So the absolute first thing before you even start selecting your sticks that you want to do is find out what stick thickness you like. Go through, try them. Spend time, even if you need to spend an hour in that shop trying every stick, do it. Feel what it feels comfortable for you. Now, first thing you do when you go and you grab whatever stick, whatever brand you get from the shelf, first thing you should do is get those sticks, especially with the cheaper ones. This isn't going to be so much a problem when you're using something like Promark or anything like that, but usually in the shop there'll be a glass table or a bench there. First thing you should do is roll the stick across. If you're looking at the stick and it's bouncing, dong, 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 that means the stick's not straight, it's got a bow in it, and you want to stay away from that stick. But if it rolls flat, not a problem. That's the stick that you want to grab. The next thing, are the sticks matched? A thing that most people don't understand is that every stick has its own note and characteristic to it. I personally like to get the heaviest pair I can find because I find that I get the best tone from the drums from doing that. And stuff when you're doing a cross stick, just get a much better tone. And that's just me, I just like a heavier pair of sticks. Now, to check if each stick matches in weight, because this is the thing, this is a natural product. These, even though they come in a packet like this in the shop, you don't know what Joe Drummer before you came and went through all of those and took them out and messed them up, and suddenly they're not matched anymore. So when you grab a pair of sticks that feel okay, the next thing you want to do is match them. So have you ever sat down and played a single stroke roll and you feel like the sticks they just don't sound the same when you hit the snare? It's like one's going dung da dung da dung da dung da. That could totally be because one hand is playing harder than the other, and more than likely it is. But another thing that's really going to not help that is if one stick is quite a bit heavier than the other stick. That's going to give you a totally different tone. It's going to totally mess you up. So if you start with a weighted and matched pair of sticks, that is going to make sure that you're getting the same tone out of the drum. So when you are working on your evenness, you have a better and more accurate way of telling if one hand's higher than the other, and you can hear it. You can just hear it. And the best way I find to match them is on the back of your head, and this, everyone in the shop's going to think you're crazy. But on the back of your skull, right at the base, where it's the hardest part, you want to get the stick right behind your ear, and you just want to tap the stick there, and you're going to hear a tone from the stick, and then you want to swap them over, and you want to get the tone from that, and you want to match that tone. And if you need to go through the sticks and find one that matches, do it. That's probably what other people have done before you. So just make sure you do that before you buy a pair. It's totally allowed. It's totally cool. They're still going to be selling pairs of sticks, so don't feel embarrassed or feel shy about doing that. At the end of the day, you are spending the money, so do what you got to do. And that's pretty much it. That's all I do. I just usually check the sticks in round. I check if the weight's right, and then I check if their tones match. And if the tones match, that's it. Do keep in mind though, if you are doing jazz gigs, something like that, you don't want to be using something like a 2B. That is like, you know, really thick and made for hitting hard. And likewise, probably not a great idea, but not impossible, but not a great idea to use a 7A on a metal gig. One other tip I'm going to give you, which is something I do, it's just because I'm anal and I like to use the sticks that match and make sure that they match and don't get mixed up in the stick bag, is when I do grab a pair of sticks out, I have a little mark on the bottom. So sometimes, so like this one, these sticks here, they've got 4 dots on the bottom. So I know the one with 4 dots, it goes with the one with 4 dots. And I have them face down into my stick bag so I can see the butt end and I've got the little dots and I can just, yep, that's the pair I'm going to use, and they're matched. And no, again, no guesswork, especially when you're on stage. You just need to grab a pair of sticks or whatever. Just takes the guesswork out. So if you do like this lesson, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to be notified of more lessons. And if you would like more personal and in-depth learning, not that YouTube's not great, but it doesn't give you feedback. I've got a website called intodrums.com, and it's my website and it's just me. I'm not a big company or anything. And I do live lessons and pre-recorded lessons, and we have special guest masterclasses in. So for example, you can sign up, you get all of that. You get 3 lessons a week for the live lessons and 12 weeks worth of archive. Plus you get all of the pre-recorded lessons, and that library is constantly growing. And you get unlimited feedback. So that's the difference between learning on YouTube and learning with me. On the website, that's what you're paying for. There's a special on at the moment. It's $9.99 US a month. And if you lock that in, you will lock that in for the life of your subscription. So even one day when it goes up to $20, $30 US, you're still gonna be paying $9.99. So jump on now, and I hope to see you there. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy practicing.